Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our Friday session here at Namaste Village, the Namaste Experience. And we're going to begin, as we have of late, oming. We're going to open up and om. And we're going to do it in the way that Yogananda has taught us. And then we'll share our opening prayer. So if you remember, it's om. Om. Okay, join me. We're going to do it nice and slow. Om. Om. Let's do it again. Oh, oh, oh. Beautiful. Now let's join together in our prayer. Here we go. My soul has but one goal: to awaken to the truth that is forever true. My heart has but one desire: to remember the passion of infinite bliss. My mind has but one focus: to embrace the reality that is forever real. I choose to awaken now to the infinite love that is my source. I give everything to this love, just as it has given everything to me. I am awake now. How is everyone today?
Awake and
How
ready.
feels
Awake and ready.
Awake and ready.
Awake
So you are.
and ready.
So you are awake and ready. Oh, looks like some people got unmuted. I'm going to ask that the Zoom audience not unmute themselves during the prayers, because then I have to remute you. Remute. I'm not going to rebuke, but I will remute. Or something like that. Something akin to that. So today we're going to go somewhere really interesting. It's a bit of a paradox, I know, and it's interesting because this discussion came up in several ways at our breakfast table, as it so often does. The breakfast table is the great field of possibilities that show us where spirit is guiding us this day. What teaching are we here to learn that will help us ascend and lift above this world into that higher kingdom of singular consciousness? And today, what we're going to be talking about is divine indifference. Those two things don't really at first seem to go together, do they? Because indifference doesn't sound like it's going to be divine. Indifference, usually in our minds, means separating from or not caring about. And it's true. That is a very strong and important aspect of divine indifference, but from a whole different perspective. It's not that I don't care at all, it's that I care totally, in a total manner. I give everything, not just some things. And yet at the same time, there's a stepping back, knowing that every little thing is going to be all right. We step back into the knowledge, into the experience that everything is whole, everything is perfect right here, right now. So I have a little something I'm going to read that will guide us into this discussion. Here we go. If you want to learn how to walk on water, how many of you want to learn how to walk on water? Raise your hand. Unstrap the weights that pull you under the waves. Unstrap the weights that pull you under. Then you'll float, float, float all the way home. So that's a different perspective on walking on water. We're not walking on water to impress people. Look at me. It's always look at thee, turn it over to that all-encompassing presence that is everywhere all at once. And turn it all over. So let me go further. Walking on water is as simple as realizing that nothing really matters. What is that noise? Is someone's phone going off? It's distracting me. Wait a minute. Did you hear that? Someone's phone seems to be getting pictures coming in. Okay. I don't think it's on the Zoom room, but do I have everybody muted? All right. I'll deal with it. Once again, walking on water is as simple as realizing that nothing really matters. I always like to say that the most important line in any modern song that I know is this. Nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Join me. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. Any way the wind blows. If I had a gong? Gong. Oh, wait. I do have a gong. Any way the wind blows. There it is. Okay. Once again, walking on water is as simple as realizing that nothing really matters. But the split mind, the ego mind, has a very different interpretation of this. Here's what it says. How can you be compassionate or even loving when you've released all concepts of right and wrong or good and bad? How can you be loving and compassionate if you've done that? That would make you a terrible person, it believes. But these thoughts are just traps that keep you locked in a world of confusion and pain, instead of lifting above that world into the experience of true compassion and unlimited joy, where you can be truly helpful, not mainly helpful. You see, that's the difference. The split mind doesn't mind you being mainly helpful, but never totally helpful. Because when you are totally helpful, in other words, you've lifted above the battleground completely, you have a whole different perspective, then it's a whole different experience than being on the battleground trying to take care of things as they come to you. When you lift above, you can be totally helpful because you have the view that you could never have from the ground. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
So this is why we're called, this is what divine indifference is all about, to lift above it all. Once again, into the experience of true compassion and unlimited joy. This is the essence of divine indifference. Your heart is so open that you refuse to entertain any of the illusions the split mind holds dear. And one of the illusions that the split mind holds dear is that there's someone out there for me to save. Did you hear that? There's always someone out there for me to help on this level instead of this level. You see, that's the difference. I'm not here ultimately. I mean, if something comes across, if I'm walking and I see someone that needs my help, of course I'm going to help them. But that's not my object. The object is the vertical line of ascent, not the horizontal. So once again, this is the essence of divine indifference. Your heart is so open that you refuse to entertain any of the illusions the split mind holds dear, including the ego's concepts of love, of compassion. When these concepts are released, you'll find yourself lifting above the world of duality into the actual experience of oneness. It's this experience you've been longing for. This is what you've been longing for, to lift above, not the concepts that surround this experience. Let me say that again because it's very important. This is the experience you've been longing for, not the concepts that surround this experience. Did you get that? we are usually content with dealing with the concepts that surround the experience of oneness or the experience of being truly helpful. No, don't worry about those. Those will take care of themselves. Just dive in, just walk across that whole lake, and you'll find yourself in a state of helpfulness that has nothing to do with the mind, nothing to do with the concepts that surround being helpful. We don't need to think about any of that. In fact, we don't need to think about anything. We just need to keep our hearts open and let go of all of those ideas and concepts that the split mind holds so dear. Okay. Let them all go, and the light will find you without you having to do anything at all. Release all your concepts, all of your ideas of right doing and wrong doing, and what? Someone fill in the blank. Come with holy, empty hands unto your God. Use me. Show me. Help me. I'm not here to do anything on my own. I'm not here to figure this out. I'm here to be empty so I can allow Spirit to take hold and guide me in ways that I can't even begin to imagine. But as long as I hold any concept or any idea of this is right and that is wrong, this is helpful, that's not helpful, that I'm still on that playing field instead of lifting above where I can be truly helpful. So that being said, let's have a discussion with Vicky. Vicky, good morning to you. What do you have to say about all this?
Good morning, Brother James. Let's see. I'll start with saying this. Can you hear this? Or I don't want to hurt your ears.
Moses code frequency tuning forks. Did you do it?
So, yeah, I did it. You couldn't hear it though?
No, it's so funny how it doesn't pick up certain frequencies. The same thing with the bowl with you guys. But that's
Right.
okay. We know what it
You
sounds
got the idea. So to me, see how these
You'd have to
tones
do
work?
a share sound.
No,
Oh, thank
doesn't.
you, Stuart.
no,
Okay.
she doesn't. That's a different thing.
And beyond my technical capability.
Besides, even if that was it, Vicky wouldn't be able to do it.
No, not today. But what I'm saying is, just like the sound, if we tune into the tone, to that sound of the divine, it's a frequency. And it's without opposite, whether it's love or joy, that no matter where we find ourselves, and I do this every day, when it looks like something's desperate or something needs help, other than, of course, if you're here and your body's available, you pick up your hands and you help. But in greater things where we think there's big things to solve, if we tune back into the tone of love, it is just a tone, and we all know what it is, because love is always maximal. Love isn't partial. Even here in the experience of being split into the experience of a million things going on, when we have a moment of love, it's always a moment of giving unconditionally. It's a moment of sharing ourselves. It's a moment of opening our arms and welcoming in the beloved. If we tune to that, no matter what seems to be amiss here personally or in the world, like the tide, the current, we're brought naturally back into that flow of love. Even if we mess up here, if I mess up and do a terrible thing or do a stupid, foolish thing, if I return to love only right now, return to Spirit's attention only right now. And what does that mean? It's what you started with. It means dropping the weights of every idea I hold, dropping my own concerns, my own desires, dropping everything, surrendering all of it, dropping it like that, really drop it and say, here I am again, Lord, holy empty hands unto my Lord, here I am. And it's inevitable that we're not pulled right back in to the current of joy, grace, welcome, and happiness. It's inevitable, because that's all there really is. When we're not supporting and sustaining and nurturing a dream of separation and sadness and so forlongness, when we don't nurture that any longer. And we refuse. I do. I take a stand. Forget it. That is not, I'm not going to strengthen that thought system. I simply let it go. And it is that simple. We have been preoccupied with the idea of processing and thinking we had to work at this and that there was some effort to becoming somehow good enough or whatever it is. And someone else can do it, but I can't. We all can. It's as simple as letting go of those ideas and letting the current of happiness take us. And it will take us and restore us to the exact right place that is truly most helpful here in time and space where we find ourselves. That's the benefit of this. There's no loss anywhere. We show up where we are. We let go of our idea of solution or concern and open up to here I am. It's another way of saying, my eye is single, thy will be done. My eye is single, thy will be done in me, through me. And how to be truly helpful comes out of my hands, my feet, my voice, my everything. It comes through as a song of love. It really is this simple. And we gather here every day to help each other just do that and to keep it that simple. So we don't get lost in many ideas or complications. So we let it be childlike with this is what true faith is. I'll trust that. I'll trust that and keep my hands open until the prompt of my heart sends me forth with whatever it sends me forth, a word or a book or a smile or a song. So here we are together, gathered in the simplicity of love, letting it stay that so simple and helping each other every day to live only there and celebrate life that is joy without opposite right now, here on earth as it is in heaven. Amen. Amen, brother.
Amen, indeed. You know, Vicki, this brings me back to something that you've talked about so many times before. So simple. And it's stop, drop, and pray. But you can't do anything till you stop. If we're spinning around in a circle, like that dog I've talked about that's tied to a stake, and it's running around in this circle, thinking I must be going somewhere because I'm going so fast. But is it going anywhere? If it's running around in a circle, it's not going anywhere. But when we stop and we just simply drop everything, all of our ideas, all of our concepts, the right, the wrong, the good, the bad, and then just pray to be an open channel of peace, for it to channel through the idea of me, the concepts that I hold of myself, flow through even that, and it will. Peace will flow. And it will undo then all of the remaining knots, all of the remaining ties that bind me to this illusory world. But it has to flow through me. So stop and just drop it all. And then pray. Become the prayer. Literally become the actual prayer. And this is when we move into that state that we describe in our opening prayer every morning, where there's no desire, there's nothing that I want but to be the vehicle and the vessel and the instrument of that holy peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me bring love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there's darkness, light, and where there is sadness, let me be the source of your joy. That's the only thing that's left. It becomes so transparent that it is the divine that's working through us. And we give it all back. And then the weights that we talked about fall away on their own and we walk across the water. Miracles. Miracles are natural. We just have to drop the weight first. So stop waiting. Let it all fall away. And then the rest is easy. So thank you, Vicki. Thanks, everyone. It's Friday, so I guess we're going to have a little shorter lesson today, but that's okay. It doesn't matter how long or how short the lesson is. The only thing that's important is that we get the lesson. And what is the lesson today? How would you describe it? Be open. Yeah. Empty hands. Anything else? Loving indifference. Yes. That's a tricky one. The mind and the ego will wrestle with that. Let it wrestle. It's okay. But just be open to receive that. Anybody else? What'd you get out of today? Nothing? What was that? Verticality. That's a good word. I don't know if it exists, but it does now. Verticality, not horizontally or horizontality. I don't know. Sounds like something from Mary Poppins, maybe. What else?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Got nothing out of it.
You got nothing out of today. And that's a very good lesson. Yes, Scott.
Walking on water metaphor, how just by lifting all the weights, we really don't need to be prone to gravity, you know?
Defying gravity.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. That's a wonderful song. Have you ever heard Defying Gravity from Wicked? Oh, if you've never heard it, check it out. Yes.
I was thinking of a song called Peace is Flowing Like a River.
Peace is flowing like a river. Yeah. Peace flowing like a river, flowing out of you and me. Yes, that's a good one. Anybody else? Okay. Well, you gotta, if you got nothing out of this, that would be the best thing you can get. So have a beautiful, happy Friday, everyone. We love you so much. We'll be, of course, here for the Unity service on Sunday. If you know how to get to that, just go to their website, and we'll be back here on Monday. Namaste.
Namaste.
Love you. See
Bye.
you Monday.
Namaste.
Love you all.